What the? You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire Uterus community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are...
Rope.
And it's Thursday, so you know what it is. It's time to talk about NXT UK. You know, a pretty informative show. Like, we need to have a show that sets up for what is going to be NXT UK Prelude. As you know, I think that's the way that we're going to start our WrestleMania weekend. You know, with stand up and deliver from NXT. So, like you said, the younger brother has to have something also. So this show kind of gave us everything that we need to know and to get us ready for this show.
Yeah, lots of, just video packages and hype packages, and they did it correctly. Well, one, it's an hour show, so you can't really add too much shit in a show that's only an hour. You can only add the good stuff, but that's what we got here from a lot of these video packages. One with A-Kid, from A-Kid about, the #1 contenders match, and we also saw, the two guys in that match talking. We saw a sit-down with Walter Rampage Brown, everything like that was, was with Galax. Even though I don't think they're going to be on the card, we just say, hey, they lost the tag belts. What's Galax up to? Boom, we saw it. This show always delivers. This show should be called Stand and Deliver because they always deliver, but this was it wasn't maybe the most exciting if you're just going off all the matches and everything, but I think it's just like you said, building up to what I feel is going to be a sleeper, one of the best shows of the whole weekend, or of that whole WrestleMania week in NXT Prelude.
Yeah. And like you said, I would much rather to see all this card, like you said, on a takeover. NXT UK needs a takeover because, every the old regular NXT has many of them. Maybe they should try to invest.
I think they do need to do a takeover event, and I feel like this kind of is one, just because it's NXT's takeover is normally on a Saturday or a Sunday, but this week it's on a Wednesday, and a Thursday, and that's because it's just, well, what are you going to do? Put it on the same weekend as WrestleMania?
Yeah.
But I always liked it when they did it the week before. It should have been
for Justice, right, Paul?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it at 3 p.m. since everybody's saying that we're going to run against WrestleMania Night 1. Not taking a shot at our boys or Impact, but next time can we get check dates and similar stuff? So thank you very much, family, for being with us, for supporting us, for subscribing, the comments that we hear, every single one of you, for every single one of our videos. Thank you. We appreciate that. We're going to start with the go home show for NXT, Stand and Deliver. And LA Knight is going to come out last in the Gauntlet match. So finally he won. But then we got to see 5 segments of Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. So your thoughts on this real quick?
Yeah, and too much Io Shirai, we love her, but it's overexposing this match and, really forcing it down your throat. And it's I don't, no offense, but I really don't care because, all signs are pointing Raquel's going to win. And that just means Io's going to go to the main roster and probably get buried. I mean, if they treat her the way they treated Asuka, that's still only half decent because Asuka could be, presented a lot better. So I do fear for Io on the main roster. And also, speaking of fearing for people, LA Knight, I want him to win this match. He needs to. I said this, moving to Tuesdays, this will be a great reset for NXT, get all the champions legit, start presenting the show how it used to be. But don't be surprised if everybody's, famous psychopath, Dexter Lumis, wins this and that beats Gargano, and then we have a mute as the North American champion.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It could really happen. Taya Valkyrie is also going to debut the first show when they debuted on Tuesday. So, keep watching the reviews. Thank you for the love one more time. And then, AEW with Jean-Paul's own, right there's his baby. And Christian Cage finally debuts against Frankie Kazarian. A lot of people love the match. For me, I don't know. I feel that it was a pretty good, but the Spanish Fly, spot wasn't needed. Because every time you mentioned that, Paul, is they do a big move, he kicks out, and then everything's legit. So that kind of move should be always a finisher for me.
Yeah, I believe that actually is Frankie Kazarian's finisher. So it's okay, we see Kazarian, who they were trying to say is legit, 11-0. Christian just kicks out of his finisher. And I had said in a review, and I'll just comment it here too, this should have been a feud between Christian and Omega, if that's your plan, not his first match. Because the first match should have been the Cesar Bononi or somebody like that. And he beats in 4 minutes, looks dominant. But, I mean, after that great match, though, despite its, little flaws, the show just went downhill, I personally thought. But, go check out the review and let me know what you think.
Yeah, exactly. The Inner Circle is back. We got to see the Young Bucks aligning with Jon Moxley. Of course, the arcade match, of course. And then, that's what happens when you talk bad about Jim Cornette. You lose even, those quicker matches. So don't do that unless you're going to spell English in the proper way. There you go. Let's start, Jean-Paul, talking about this girl. It's for the first time they actually hear from her. And her name is Stevie Turner. Stevie Turner, and they were like, she was going to go against Eva Valkyrie. So like her background, she was in Japan. She had a lot of experiences there, like in the dojos, like learning from all of that. And like she said in the preview, she's like kind of like a futuristic gimmick that she has, and she's like, everything is like two-dimensional, but with me it's like four-dimensional. So I take it to the next level. So I think that like it was a pretty decent debut for this girl, and also like more continuation on this Eva Valkyrie agenda that she's undefeated, she needs to get more wins under her belt. Then she looked really good, and Stevie had a decent showing for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know it was a good showing for her, and I like Valkyrie. She's legit undefeated. You would think she would maybe run through this girl, but we know that's usually not how NXT UK does it. They always like to showcase people. I really can't recall the last time we saw just a legit 30-second to a minute-long job match. You really don't see that on this brand, and also they're playing the narrative that because Valkyrie's undefeated but still no title shot, it's almost like the pressure of being undefeated and all that is kind of weighing on her. So maybe that's screwing with her confidence, screwing with her, in-ring skill and all that stuff. So at least there's like a story and a narrative that they're playing off. But, this was a good, solid win for her. It's just, she needs to have a storyline. Now we see kind of where they're going with the women's championship and all the feud and everything going into Prelude. But I think after that, there really needs to be something, whether it's her and Mako or her and, Ginny, somebody. There needs to be a legit feud for her to build her up. Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think because of like the similarities in the characters, both dark, both like kind of like witches and all of that, like kind of like, like fictional stories right there. So yeah, I agree with you. This girl needs to have like a legit storyline because she keep winning after people that like they don't really have a path. And NXT UK is not doing any favors to her. And her momentum is being cut for me.
To me, she's like a racehorse, just like in the stable. It's like, can I go? Can I run? And it's like, not yet. It's like, when is her time to just let her loose and just, let her, well, even if you don't want her to be the champion right away, just give her a meaningful feud, not a one-off match, a feud where there's a couple matches.
That has name value, you say Genie, Niven, all of them, the ones that have like more value in NXT UK. That's the only thing that we say, but hopefully they actually go to that. And I feel like their Prelude, it should be a good idea where she can end up going. So let's go with like the A-Kid, like you said. He has all the momentum in Spain. He won the Heritage Cup, so he was just showcasing that. And he says that once he went back to Spain, or like everybody, he was like headlines. He was all over the news, like interviews, all of that. Right there, we can see a picture. His name is the A-Kid. They're all talking in Spanish, so he's showcasing that, talking about that. And he says he has the match with Walter. He came short, but like he's really wanting to see what's going to happen on NXT Prelude, and then we're going to see he going against Noam Dar or like Tyler Bate. So, a decent promo fight, the A-Kid.
Yeah, and I like this, and we kind of got, like, what the A meant. It meant anonymous. Like, who is this kid, and I like how he's like, now there's going to be the next anonymous kid, almost like somebody else going to be like him, rising through the ranks. He's a very just, like, inspirational story. He kind of trained himself, did all this and everything, and it's great to see, A-Kid and how these countries, because America, let's be honest, they don't really give a shit about wrestling. You don't ever see wrestlers on ESPN sports news coverage, but I like how in the UK, Spain, all these other places, they treat it more legit. Like, these guys are actual athletes, have them on, interview them, do stuff like that. So, I mean, this is good, and I'm excited to see, A-Kid go against, hopefully, my boy, Noam Dar.
Noam Dar.
He does it with the pinkies.
The hair, we do it for Noam Dar.
Yeah, with the hair,
Yeah, we
got to represent.
Exactly. So, yeah, hopefully, like, they do that because, again, easy booking. You know this. You're the best booker in the business. Not Tony Cocaine Khan. No. It's not. It's, like, easy. Heel, face, right there, story.
Exactly.
That's how you're supposed to do it. No, this is a difficult one yet because it seems like they're teasing like a romantic angle or like a friendship, like a partnership.
And I know why it's difficult because you wish it was you, but that's
well, that's why it's difficult for me to digest because, like I said, I wish that it will be like Jack Stars, like he's right there, and like Piper just arrives because remember last week they said we're gonna train, and he's just like 100%, 100 miles per hour. Like, whoa, I just did this, I just did that. We should go over here. We should go over there. She's like, whoa, slow it down, horse. Slow it down. It's like you want to be the best athlete in the WWE when it comes to working out. Well, maybe you should focus on winning matches. So how about we just like go here, and then she starts like showing her like he given like a bag, right? Like a big bag.
Yeah, because she was like, listen, she's like, you're just trying to be in shape, do all this stuff. She's like, look at me. I'm not clearly not in, the peak physical condition. She's like, but I can whoop any woman's ass and I can whoop most of the men's asses. So she's like, that's what we need to work on with you. Yeah, exactly. She's like, that's what we need to work on, whooping some ass. So she kind of gave him a bag, and you saw he was throwing it, suplexing it, dropping elbows, everything, just beating up this bag, just like like a workout punching bag type kind of thing. It wasn't hanging up, but and it was just to get the intensity for him. Yeah. Which is what he needs. And like we said it months ago, so either we know what we're talking about or wrestling's pretty predictable, but I'm going to go with the first one. We said that Jack Starr is a guy who it's like, okay, yeah, he's kind of the jobber right now. He puts people over, but look, he got over with the audience. People probably liked him. Okay, let's put him with Piper, do this stuff. Look how he's getting over. He's getting wins. Maybe he'll go against A-Kid. Maybe A-Kid will drop the Heritage Cup to Noam Dar, and then, who would be a good babyface to go against? Okay, there's Jack Stars. There's something like that. So there's lots of stuff you can do with this guy. Now, I like this, and I know last week I said, what's the narrative? Where are they going with this? I still don't really see any direction besides maybe they're like, hey, not everything has to have a feud and end goal. These two are just friends helping each other out. So yeah, and like you said, for example, at the end of this, Jack Stars, what did he say then? Oh, this felt really good. Because like you said, she's awakening. She's awakening that like killer instinct. It's like, okay, the image that we mentioned yesterday from Rocky 3. That Apollo, Rocky just did you professional wrestling. Speaking of killer instinct, though, I still don't think he should go against Dragunov because nobody has a better killer instinct than Dragunov.
Then he'll get all the combos, and then, that's it. That's it with Ilja Dragunov. You're absolutely right. So now let's talk about, Teal Man. Teal Man had like another showing, this time with Josh Morell. We saw Morell every single time, and like you said, he's the jobber. Unfortunately, he is. But hey, maybe this time is for him to just learn, put over guys. That's the load work that you need to.
And then
Josh, once you do that, then they put you in like a meaningful storyline. They develop your character. How to pay your dues. I think that's kind of like what you got to do sometimes in wrestling when you're first starting.
Oh, definitely. And don't you think Josh Morell's going to kind of be in the same boat as Jack Stars? Yeah. This guy's way too good, too athletic. He's a great wrestler, exciting. You see, he's a young guy, so it's like he has future. It's not like, oh, he's 50, he has like 10 months left in wrestling. No, this guy will be here for a while. He had a great showing. Like we said, Theo Man, I thought maybe should have looked a little bit strong, or Teo Man, should have looked a little bit stronger, should have looked a little bit more dominant. But with what I just said, I still think they're trying to protect this guy, what's his name?
Morell.
Josh Morell. Yeah, they're still trying to protect him and push him at a, in the future. So this was a good contest. And I do like, Teal Man. I like his movesets, like the drop kicks and everything and the submissions. He's just like the way he moves in the ring and stuff. It's all his gimmick, like just that dark. And I know you loved it. I loved it when they compared him to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Yeah, that was badass and stuff.
But it's a comedy. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, this was good. Good showing for both these guys. Obviously, Teal Man had the better showing for winning the match. But, Josh Morell, to me, he's going to be a star. He's one of those guys, 2022, 23. He'll be going after the Heritage Cup. Hopefully, maybe they introduce another mid-card title or something. But he's too good.
I agree with you. I feel that also, like they mentioned that Teal Man is German, and he's been in the same ring as like Ilja Dragunov, Walter. So like they come from the same schools, from the same.
And that would be a good feud.
Oh yeah, Dragunov against Teal Man, that will be a really great, like in the first starting feud, that will be like a main event feud for him. So we'll see what happens, but Teal Man, good showing for him. So I feel that like it's good, it's a good start for him. This couple of matches, like let's see, like now we're gonna see, for me at least, a little bit of character development. Hey, me cut a promo. Let me know what are you coming after? Why are you here? So we'll see about.
And I like how he's been doing like the cross face, for his finisher. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, at least we all know that like in the end we all love Chris Benoit. Exactly. Now where's Road Break?
Okay. Let's rephrase. We love like the artist, the wrestler Chris Benoit. We don't want people to be like, oh, you love killers. No. Calm down. But you got to separate the art from the
performer. The performer. Exactly. So let's talk about now like a face-to-face. This was really well done. This was like done in a beautiful way because it was a sit down between Rampage Brown and Walter, because they're going to have the main event match at NXT UK Prelude, and then the lines that they say between each other was really good. Sid Scala pretty much conducted an interview, and he's like, "Do you respect Rampage Brown, Walter? Do you respect Rampage Brown?" No, he's like, and also Rampage Brown. He mentioned something. He's like, this is kind of my job. I've been doing this for so long, and I know how to prepare myself. And that was I like that how Walter was. Well, that's the main difference between he and I. It's like, this is his job. For me, this is my life. I come here, every time I come to the ring to restore the honor of this sport and all of that. So like, I was really, impressed by like how they handled this, because they didn't even touch each other. Normally in WWE and all of that, they would have already went at it, but no, really well done.
If Walter was 40, 50 years older, he would be having Bruno Sammartino title reigns. They would be like, we're going to put the belt on you until you're ready to give it up. If that's 5 months or 5 years, like, he's so legit. And that's what he is kind of, like referencing, hearkening back to those old school ways. And, Walter's just so legit, but unfortunately in the modern era, you can't have a single champion for so long. It eventually gets stale, it gets bold. And today's day and age, we're just, with being exposed to so many different things, we lose interest, quickly. So you kind of have to do the title changes, keep things fresh. And I think Rampage Brown is that guy. He said that line, hey, because I apparently Rampage Brown's been doing this longer than Walter, or at least in the UK. Yeah. Because he's like, oh, remember when you came to Britain? Remember when you went against me? I beat you. Yeah. And he's like, oh, well, do you know what I've done since then? I've went all over the world and I've beaten everybody. This is Walter talking. So he's like, yeah, maybe you beat me when I was a young guy, but now look at me.
Yeah.
So and this was good. The stare down was good. Like you said, they stood up. They stared each other down, and it was like, oh shit! And you see Sid Scala like, so please don't fight, because I weigh as much as your leg. I can't do anything. Yeah. But no, they didn't. There was no flipping the table. There was no, beating each other up, and they did this backstage. They didn't do it in the middle of the ring, and they didn't have 80 guys come out and beat each other up. You didn't see Walter do a huge dive onto Rampage Brown. There was no bullshit. It was treated so legit.
Serious. And to the point, what is what we're here for? The championship. We're gonna have a championship match. That's what we're here for. Remember, he goes, who do you think is the best champion of the NXT UK? Well, who's the longest one? Me.
Yeah, he was like, why do you even ask that? He's like, who the answer. He's like, he's like, who had the longest title reign in this brand? Who had the longest title reign in WWE's modern era? Is longer than all these guys. So, Lesnar, AJ Styles, all these guys.
I would much love to see this version of Walter on NXT against Ciampa. And then what I'm getting from Walter, you can tell that, like, how, like, the British mentality when it comes to, like, give you like a character, like, hey, this is the way that you're going to do it. And then, and US way, this is the way you're going to do it. I'm like, like, oh, he's going to say, oh, Ciampa. And then here, Walter iterating every single word, like, you believe it. Everything is just stuff, but, like, I think it's really personal. So it was really cool. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, if they go with what the idea you presented last night, that's how they're going to get me into it. But if it's like no mention of the Ciampa match, I'm going to be like, whatever. This was already taped.
Yeah, because they only did mention it. It was a very quick throwaway line. They're like, oh, before NXT Takeover Prelude, Walter will face Tommaso Ciampa at Stand and Deliver. But now here's the sit-down interview with him and Rampage Brown. It was literally like that. It was just, if you blinked, and even though you can't blink your ears, you know what I mean? But if you weren't paying attention for 30 seconds, you would have missed it. They didn't touch on it. Rampage Brown wasn't like, oh, let's see if you survive Ciampa. There was no mention of that.
That's the only thing, though. Good point there, because if they were to throw that line, it's like, hey, maybe I won't go against you because it can be Ciampa. So, like, if you tie both things, it would have been much better.
Or he could have even said something like, you better win on Wednesday because I want to be the one to dethrone you. Yes. Something like that, It would have been, but otherwise, this was a fantastic segment.
It was, yes. And so now let's go with... we don't hear from these guys anymore. But this was like a really cool, like, like a promo package that they did. Remember, like, those like clandestine like fights and all of that. And then we got to see Kofi going like, oh, I got one, guys. I have one. And then one of those fights that they bet money and all of that. And then he goes to the gym and then get to see the other Kofi. And then he goes to see Wolfgang. There you go. And then they're like, oh, well, I have one for you. So they go at it. They take him and then he beats somebody up. So you see the Galax boys are still together. So like I'm pretty sure they put this together just so like we still remember that they're still there because we haven't seen them in a long time.
And I like this. You see Joe Coffey, the main one, the leader. He's kind of rehabbing the arm, just training in the PC, being like legit. And he tells his boys, yeah, you want to go do this illegal street fight, okay, or this cage fight, whatever, earn some money. Go ahead, but like you boys better win kind of deal. Go kick his ass. And that's what they did. And I like this. I like the way it was shot. it was almost shot like a movie or a TV show. It didn't seem like, wrestling.
Nope.
So it was really cool. I wish they would have actually shown a little bit of the action. Instead, it was almost just like he was punching like a camera.
Beat him somebody up, and he's like, in like 2 punches. Oh, it's done. It's done.
But I mean, it's still cool. And like I said, I'm glad we're seeing that these guys are up to something. Like they're being featured on TV. Not we don't see them for 4 weeks and then they just appear out of the blue.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. So like it was a really nice one-shot like preview for what we're going to see with Galax. So now we're going to see Kaylee Ray. It's been a while that we've seen the champ. So she has something to say to us, and she's talking and she's saying that she asked for the best in the world, and NXT UK delivered. Yeah, we gave her a Meiko Satomura, and she had a great match with her. But yet, what happened, Paul? She retained. So she's the best in the world. So we get to see the return of somebody that we haven't seen, in 2 years. So that was cool too, like it was like the show that like we got to see new people, and we got to see Millie McKenzie, and she was the one that interrupts Kaylee Ray. So that was cool. Like I'd never heard of this woman before. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, same here.
And she was just saying like, well, maybe it's time for me to like get a challenge with me, have a match. So like they said, like she's been away from 2 years, maybe injuries, something like that. So then actually everything broke down, and we got to see also Meiko Satomura. We got to see Ilja Dragunov, because Ilja Dragunov she started interfering. So what do you think about this? It seems like at least we kind of see maybe potential challenges for Kaylee Ray.
I like half of this, and I hate the other half. I like it because it's like, okay, we need a new challenger. And like I said, I still think Meiko's going to be the champ of this brand at some point. She's too good, too legit not to. But, they jumped the gun on the match, and it's like, okay, what are you going to do here? And McKenzie comes out, and it's like, okay, we haven't seen her for a while, and like I said, we don't know how, much she was being pushed, how high she was on the card, when she was here the first time. So maybe this is, fine for her to come in, step, and challenge the champ. And it is a new, fresh opponent. Yes. But then we saw Ilja Dragunov, and it's like, okay, she's kind of, with Kaylee Ray for right now, whether that's because she's heel and joining the champ, or whether it's for interior motives to be like, okay, well, now I'm going to challenge the champ when she's at her most vulnerable to take the title. We don't know what Ilja Dragunov's plans really are. And then to have Meiko come out and make the save, I don't know what you thought, but as soon as I see 4 people in the ring, men, women, it don't matter, 2 baby faces, 2 heels, I know there's a tag match next week.
Oh, you know that. And
so that's the thing I hate. I'm like, I know there's going to be a tag match, but I mean, this might be
tag match next week.
Yep, yeah. And then the way Ilja Dragunov was looking at Sid Scala, see, now you're jealous of Jack Stars. I'm jealous of Sid Scala.
I know.
I was like, come on. But, this I think will be good. I'm excited to see this McKenzie. What did you say her first name was?
McKenzie. Is it going
to be Millie or something?
Millie McKenzie.
Yeah. I'm excited to see her because, like I said, we haven't really been exposed to her the first time around for NXT UK. So it's exciting. I'm always down to see Kaylee Ray and Meiko Satomura and, of course, Ilja Dragunov. So I am looking forward to this, but I don't like how it's – at least it wasn't set up. But that's the one thing I will give them credit for. At least they set it up for next week.
Yeah, instead
not like the same night.
Yeah. We're going to have that. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's what we have it now. You said is they're going to have Kaylee Ray also because it's Prelude. So like they need to have the champions.
And that will be on Prelude. And what do you think about that? Having that kind of match on Prelude? I mean, it does get
first match.
Yeah. It does get the women's champ. It gets probably. One of the best women in all of wrestling history, Meiko Satomura. It gets them on the card, but I would have liked to maybe see, just a match, maybe just the champion, even if it was non-title. Oh, me going against somebody, whatever, just like a singles match for the champ. But I still think this will be pretty good.
Yeah, it will be pretty good. Like you said, maybe 8 minutes or so for the show, and then later on we're gonna see, like the Heritage Cup with like Noam Dar and time.
But the only thing I will say though, I feel like Mackenzie's probably gonna lose. She's probably gonna be the one to eat the pin because I don't see the heels losing. Ilja Dragunov just joining with Kaylee Ray. I don't see her getting pinned, and I don't see any of the 2 other women getting pinned either.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna happen. So we mentioned this. We said that's our boy right there, Noam Dar. You love him right there. He was just have a video package showcasing like he's ready to finally fight. Remember, he was injured a few months ago. He needed time to rehab, get better, all of that, and now he's ready. He's dangerous. That's what he said, and like he was talking about like this guy, Tyler Bate, and also Trent Seven, because remember also Shaw Simons is going to be on his side, so like Trent Seven is going to be for Tyler Bate, so they're going to have the match. Heritage Cup rules is going to be really interesting, and like you said, this time Noam Dar needs to win because again, heel against babyface naked. Perfect combination. easy combination, and also there's history behind it, so they can have the rematch right there.
Yeah, and they keep the narrative with Tyler Bate is how he's like zen and he's calm. He's like, oh, I need to flow like water, all this stuff, like the inner peace kind of thing. And he has Trent Seven in his corner. Shaw Samuels is Noam Dar. I would set this up that somehow those two guys kind of get involved. Not that the match breaks down Monday Night Raw style, but something where maybe at the end of this thing, when Noam Dar goes over, Tyler Bate snaps, yells at Trent Seven because he needs to turn heel. This whole I'm so zen and I'm calm and all that to me is like a cover. That's like, okay, it's a thin layer of film over top of the heel turn. And I think the heel turn needs to come soon because then give me that feud. Trent Seven versus Tyler Bate. Let me see these two go at it. I don't know if we have. I don't know if we have ever seen it in UK. I'm sure they wrestled each other, before in matches, but I don't know if we've seen it in a high profile feud on NXT UK, and I'd like to see it. And then also it can be a reason why the heel, beat, Tyler Bate and went over. So that's my prediction. I'm hoping for it, because I don't want to see Tyler Bate and A-Kid again. Will they give me a good match? Yes, but we did just see it a few
we just saw it 2 months ago. No, it's not even.
Yeah,
exactly. So we will not see that. So let's go to the main event right there. We're gonna have our guys from Pretty Deadly defending their tag team championships for the first time, one against Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. We know the story about Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams. There's been some dissension because Amir Jordan wants to do everything legal, everything clean, everything right. But Kenny Williams likes to go resource to the heelish ways or some different tactics just to get over everybody that he's facing. So that's what we have. What are your thoughts about this match? I think it was pretty good for what we saw. And we booked it correctly, too.
Yeah, and this match, again, it was one, this was going to be a good first victory for Pretty Deadly, first title defense, and they gave these guys a lot of time. They had they had almost 20 minutes of, match time, not counting entrances or anything. So this was really good. And I like how they said Pretty Deadly got caught up in the media, got caught up in doing interviews, all this stuff. Were they really training? Were they really getting focused and ready for their match? But in the beginning, we saw that, they were isolating, quick tags. They were doing good, taking control of the first, portion of this match.
Yes.
Then the baby faces, I guess I'll call them for, in this match, they started to make the comebacks. Amir Jordan, Kenny Williams, working together. And, but then it was a little bit more back and forth, just the momentum of the match, really good. But it then eventually came down to, the ref takes a big bump.
Right.
Boom, he gets taken out. And then that's when Kenny Williams goes, this is my golden opportunity. This is we did it so far your way, Jordan. He's like, but now, he's like, no. He's like, I want to win. It's one of the things, like you said, he was using those heelish tactics to get them to this point, to keep winning matches. He was, why stop a good thing? He's going to keep it going. So he runs out, he gets the belts, he throws one to Jordan. He's like, use it. Jordan's like, no, Kenny, no. He's like, we got to win legit.
There, yes.
Yeah, he's like, we got to win legit. And then he's like, well, then I'll do it, myself. And then, but you see Pretty Deadly gets him. And instead of, cracking, Pretty Deadly with one of the belts, he hits Amir Jordan. Boom. Yep. So, and then, he eventually just kind of walks out of the ring, just stands there. They hit the spilled milk, which is almost like the heart attack, but instead of like a clothesline, it's almost like a neck breaker or an RKO.
Yeah, pretty similar.
But I do like that. Yeah, but it's like how Anvil would hold him and then Brett would hit him, vice versa. But I mean, it's good. I like their finisher. Don't cry over spilt milk and don't cry over your tag team partner, leaving you and turning heel because they didn't win here today. But good win for Pretty Deadly, I thought. And we got to see where this goes now. This will obviously be a singles feud. I think Amir Jordan will probably go over, but then it's interesting to see with what you do with the heel Kenny Williams.
Yes, where exactly. I think that it's going to be a good breakup for Kenny Williams because what do we say also? Kenny Williams, remember, he was also part of the tournament for the Heritage Cup. So right there you see a potential good heel, and he can go against A-Kid. He can go against... I don't want to say Tyler Bate because you already mentioned.
No, and I mean, hey, and you have guys like Jack Stars too. Jack Stars, he gets Josh Morell. I mean, I don't know about Dragunov because to me Dragunov is too legit. I think he would just tear Kenny Williams in half. But I mean, there is lots of good guys you can put him against. So, and this is a good one for Pretty Deadly. I like them. What are their names? Stoker and Lewis. Yeah. I mean, they're. I like these guys. I want to see more from them. And I want to just see more of NXT UK. And now, don't take me the wrong way. No, it's like, oh, we're going to make the show 2 hours. No. Don't do nothing like that. But, I wish his brand would get more recognition. I feel like they're always, like, I guess we're legit. No, you are legit. I wish they would promote this brand more and do more with it.
Oh yeah, like you said, and like finally, Pretty Deadly gets is victorious in their first title defense, and it's good because, like you said, this give like having the opportunity for other tag teams right here. Maybe like we said, the new reformation of the Hunt right there with like Eddie Dennis, they can be a potential challenger. Like also Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. There's another tag team. You could have the Galax boys challenge one more time. We got to see a rematch. So you see, there's a lot of options that they can do, but at least they have this Pretty Deadly team. Finally, like kind of getting the recognition or finally acting like a good tag team, because before we had like our doubts, we had our hesitations when it came to them, but now I feel that like we all can feel behind them now.
Yes, and this was like you said, it was a great win, and then more tag team moves in here too. Like they said, what was it, the sword?
The double sword.
Yeah, they okay. Even Nigel said, "Oh, here's some more tag team maneuvers." So they must be listening. They must be listening to us.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Nigel. That's badass. We love you. Ring of Honor. You were champ. It was legit. But you and Daniel Bryan, badass. But this was a good episode of NXT UK, I think, to lead us into what will be a fantastic episode with NXT UK
Prelude. Exactly. And family, when it comes to Prelude, like it will come on Friday. It's not going to come on normal Thursday for the ones, that are always supporting us. It's going to come out Friday because also we're going to have NXT Extend and Delivery Night too. So we're going to have, we're going to be really packaged with a lot of action. So, we're going to go do the review for NXT UK Prelude. It's going to be Friday afternoon for every single one of you. And after that, we will do Smackdown. So, family, that concludes this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we served you well. And don't forget, one more time, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and also, give the video a like so we can actually go higher in the rankings and keep growing because of you. So, Paul, where they can find us?
And also make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast, the Original Rope Break.
Family, thank you so much. Also, thank you to the Wrestling with Jonas. Find us there. Our mates from the UK. They love when we do this. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...